Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fishley, welcome to my channel. Today you find me on the World of Tanks 9.3 test server where I'm playing with the new batch of light tanks that Wargaming will be introducing in the next patch. In this video we'll be specifically looking at the SpahPanzer RU-251. This is a fun tank. I've been having a blast playing it. Currently it's my favourite of the new light tanks, though I have yet to play all of them sufficiently enough to get a proper opinion. What we have here today is a couple of quick replays from the test server that will hopefully give you a fair idea about the capabilities of this little German rocket. Currently the test servers are full of people testing out these new light tanks. As such, queues are currently full of them. It's quite common to get into a match with nothing but light tanks at this moment. The few videos I'm looking to show you today are the ones that most represent how these tanks will be used in the normal gameplay once patch 9.3 has gone live. So to kick things off, I have raced down to some spotting locations on the southeast corner of Serene Coast that overlook the ridges on the spit of land out there to the north. And right on time, a T110E5 makes his appearance. He didn't stick around long. I don't know whether he has sixth sense or he was just poking the corner, hoping for a spot. We now have a friendly IS-4 moving up to that spit of land. I'm going to stay up here and keep an eye on his flanks. Once he gets down into that valley, he's not going to be able to spot anything coming over the ridgeline to flank him. And an American T-57 heavy autoloader just comes over the ridgeline, gets hammered by our E-100 SpahPanzer on my right. The IS-4 puts in the shot. Now he's already on fire. Does he use his fire extinguisher? Does he have one? No. And he burns to death with an ammo rack at the end. The 251 has a 400 meter view range backed up by a 745 meter signal range. This is very competitive with the other tier 8 light tanks. And there's the new Russian tier 7 scout tank, the LTTB. I like that tank. It's very quick and maneuverable. It feels a little bit like my Cromwell to play, though its gun depression is terrible. We've also spotted an FV215B Death Star. I desperately want to shoot this LTTB, but in doing so I'd be giving away my position, where I'm much more used to the team right now spotting for the artillery and the tank destroyers that are sitting behind me. Looks like the FV215B fired and missed, and now he's off the cliff and he's running to get behind cover. Looks like the IS-4 is chasing the FV around the corner, and the FV's come up over the ridgeline now. I open fire and hit him for 253, and the E-100 SpahPanzer finishes him off. I thought it was safe to fire then because the FV was far enough away and the LTTB had gone around a corner. Speaking of that little Russian, he's over there giving our IS-4 all sorts of headaches. Trying to line up a shot from back here. That shot was ridiculous, but that artillery shot on the other hand, bang on the mark. Beautiful hit. Right, I think I've pretty much exhausted all the opportunities from this spot, so I'm going to move up to support the IS-4. Put this little tank's excellent power to weight ratio to use. Thing's got 630 horsepower, a tank that only weighs 25 tons or so. I mean, look how quickly it eats up the terrain here. Its top speed is 80 km/h and it's got a traverse speed of 44. This thing can really get around the battlefield when it needs to. Looks like our IS-4's run headlong into a SpahPanzer E-100. I better go up there and support him. Now the SpahPanzer is equipped with a 90mm gun. It's actually a really nice gun. It's got 190mm of penetration and 240 damage with the standard ammo. That's not really enough to deal with the front end of a SpahPanzer E-100, but I think if I can find the side or the rear, that should be plenty. My first shot bounces off his highly angled side armour, but suddenly he's not very keen on chasing that IS-4 around the corner. And whoa, that Conqueror gun carrier almost knocked me out completely. A little bit closer and he would have wiped my weakly armoured tank out. I'm not exactly sure what the SpahPanzer is trying to do. I think he might be trying to push me back into deep water, but he's pushing me right along the land bridge. I don't know if he realises that, but he's much more scared of the IS-4 than he is of me, even though I'm the one sitting there taking away 250-ish of his life each shot. You can clearly see the 9.68 rounds per minute that just lets you start tearing up the enemy once you have their flank. Now I didn't get the kill on the SpahPanzer, but I did a ton of damage to him, so that's fine with me. Now we're nearing the end of the match, and there's not many targets left. Now I believe that the remaining enemy tanks have all been spotted down to the southwest of the map, so that leaves their cap open, with an enemy artillery just sitting there waiting to be killed. I'm in no doubt that artillery knows my current position and who my next target is, so he's probably going to be lining directly up from where I'm expected to come from and try and shotgun me as I come over a ridge or something. He hit the ground, now it's my turn to move in and finish the job. He can't do a damn thing to stop me. Now we have a friendly Death Star moving up to help us, and he finishes off the remaining 17 health of the artillery. Now there's only 2 enemy tanks remaining, an RU-251 and a T-110E5. Last seen down near the southwest, so I assume they're going to cap. So I start racing back to our cap to try and either reset it or kill them. When I suddenly run right past the T-110E5. Oh, and he's on very low health. I start aiming at him. I drive right through these buildings to get a shot at him. We both fire as I emerge from the building. He dies, but I take a solid hit and have half my health shaved off. Now I spend the rest of the match looking to the southwest for this enemy scout, who ends up being up north and gets killed by one of my teammates. In this match I did about 2,000 spotting damage and about 2,000 damage, I believe. I can't show you the results as none of the replay systems are up, and I forgot to take screenshots of the results. The second battle of this video finds us on Windstorm, one of the newer maps in World of Tanks. I decided to go again and start off my game as a passive scout. For this instance, I'm going to go work my way up to the bushes next to that church and get a view along the middle ridge between the city and the river. Now as I'm driving along here, I bounce into the building. It slowed me down a bit, but out of the 2 options of going into the river or hitting a building, I thought I picked the better one. So I use these stairs here to climb up to the vantage point. Now as I finish manoeuvring into this bush, I'm certain I got spotted by the enemy Object 140. Yeah, he definitely knows I'm here. He just fired one, it luckily dipped low and hit the rocks right in front of my position. If I hold still, I'll drop off his radar and hopefully he'll think I've driven away. And he pops out again. Oh, that was lucky, my gun ate that shot. Oh, we've lit up that Jag target crossing that open ground there. Oh, and that artillery barrage is brutal. They just tore him apart. That barrage just made me realise exactly how many artillery got on this map. It's a good thing I'm scouting. So we've just lit up the second SpahPanzer E100. Hopefully a few of the artillery behind me have got a round or 2 for him. It looks like the Object 140 decided to break cover. Oh, and the artillery shells are already landing around him. First one I think tracked him. Second one hits and nails him. He's down to just under 600 health. He starts backing up, tries to go the other way. And a third artillery shell lands on his head, blows him up. And the kill goes to the bat chat. Alright, well we've taken care of the Object 140 and the SpahPanzer. The only remaining enemy up on that ridgeline as far as I can spot is the other SpahPanzer E100, which is on 920 health. Yeah, he doesn't seem interested in coming over the ridge, so I'm gonna move position and go forward and try and spot their artillery. Steady on down the cliffs, don't want to break tracks. Artillery just finished off that SpahPanzer. Now I've just run into an enemy T-30 as I've crested this ridge, and so I dive to the right, go around this little hill, trying to avoid him completely. What I don't realise is the T-30 turns around and comes after me. There's tons of artillery everywhere here. The German tank destroyer behind me rips apart the Object 261, and the T-30 fires, but my tracks eat the shot. I quickly repair the tracks, dodge fire from the Object 268, and snapshot the T-92. It's at this point where I realise the enemy T-30 is coming right at me again. I quickly dive for the river to get any sort of ridgeline between me and him, and work my way back up the river, past the hill to try and get around it before he can get a shot. And I managed to do it. I'm very thankful my teammates were there to stop that T-30 giving chase. I circle back around the hill behind the T-30, but he's already dead. But we see the Batchats trying to do a runner. I put my first shot in, hits the ground. I slow down to aim the second shot to guarantee the kill. And that's pretty much the end of the match for me. I do chase after all the remaining enemies, but I don't get close before our artillery have just wiped them off the map. And the last enemy in town, well, the SpahPanzer kills him. In this match, I only did about 200-300 damage. It was pathetic. But I ended up getting over 5,000 spotting damage from those few early spots, especially on the SpahPanzer and the Object, and all those artillery I spotted when I pushed through. All those counted towards my total. Anyway, if you're still here at this point, thank you for watching. I will catch you next time.